Last night, Midwestern indie band Left of Passage took a nosedive. Their concert in Cleveland ended just 10 minutes in after brothers Owen and Tyler Duschnauzel reportedly got into a fistfight on stage. The show was canceled and tickets were not refunded. This leads us to ask the question, is this the end of Left of Passage?
Hi, I'm Tyler. I'm a musician. I played guitar in a pretty famous band called Left of Passage with my brother and a couple friends. I did a lot of acoustic, kind of half rock, half roll. Released a couple albums and stayed pretty local to the Midwest. And that was really where I started to build a name for myself in the musical world. That was my Nashville. That was my Seattle. Now I'm doing kind of a solo gig, working by myself, working on building a crew for a postmodern second wave emo revival band called Jort and Ernie. You can check us out on Bandcamp when I make it.
Were you always into music?
I grew up listening to a lot of music, yeah. We had a lot of vinyls at my house, and I had a pretty diverse palette, I would say. I did like the mainstream stuff, like some Jeff Buckley, Sonic Youth, Pink Floyd, but also some more like weird and unique things like the Over the Hedge soundtrack and Alice in Chains. And I really, really wanted to play guitar. I bought my first acoustic at an estate sale from this absolute, can I swear, this absolute freaking stupid piece of shit named Brent. He used to bully me in middle school, but his parents died in a car crash, so who's the loser now? And after I had this, I just loved it. I was playing guitar all night. My mom actually had to soundproof my room just because of the sheer amount of guitar playing that was going on. I started getting really good, if you ask me.
Can you tell me more about Left of Passage?
Yeah, so it was something that I started with my brother. We were really close at the time. We went to the same college. I had the same friends, and we both loved music. We'd go to a lot of house shows and just loved that scene. So one night we just decided, let's play an open mic, and that was undescribable. It's intoxicating. We had sort of the Carpenters meets Rage Against the Machine feel to us, and the crowd really responded to that. So we just kept doing it, and we started playing shows, filling basements. I remember one night we had like 200 people crammed into this tiny, unfinished, sweaty basement, and that's the worst thing I've ever smelt in my life. It was incredible. Eventually we started writing songs, wrote our first album, and it just took off from there. Our first really big hit, we wrote it, and it was called Not Enough Love in the World. And that song's about how our mom used to take our Wii and hide it so that we couldn't play Mario Kart. And when that released, that was really when I knew we kind of had something.
And where's your brother now?
We have somewhat of a strained relationship.
Owen, how would you describe your relationship with Tyler?
That homophobic son of a bitch hit my husband with his car.
First of all, I'm not homophobic. I watched Live Aid on YouTube. And second of all, the whole running over his husband thing was a complete misunderstanding. And it was his boyfriend at the time. They weren't married yet. So, I mean, that's different. I'm not saying it's better, but you can acknowledge that it's different. He had this thing where he'd come into the booth when we were recording and he knew that I'd have my shirt off because I tried to do like a Sid Vicious thing for a while before people told me to stop. And I think just to mess with me, he'd go to the thermostat and he'd turn it down real low. And if you've ever had your shirt off and it's like 62, it's freezing. So one night I'm drinking bear, and it's just one of those like drunk, impulsive thoughts pops into my head, and I'm like, I gotta say something. So I get in my car, I'm driving there, and he was the person at Outback who takes the food out to the cars who ordered something. So I'm on my way to Outback, and I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna feel so great. I'm gonna solve all this drama. And I'm like, maybe I'll get a bloomin' onion afterwards. That would be nice. And I'm driving there, and I'm preparing what I'm gonna say, and I'm running it through my head, and I'm like, I think it's really inconsiderate that you turn the heat down when you know that I don't like being cold. But I didn't see the curb. And just...
He couldn't walk for 4 years.
So Live Aid wasn't about the AIDS epidemic?
Where do you see yourself in a few years?
Well, obviously there's Jordan Ernie. Then when I die, I want to be cremated with this guitar. And the ashes turn into a sapling. And they plant the sapling, and a magnificent tall tree grows, and then I want them to cut down that tree and turn the wood into a new guitar and put that in a museum. So that's kind of like my 5, 10, 15 year plan.
We've actually got a surprise for you today.
I hope it's another drink. So, does Chris still work it out?